Hi, my beautiful souls. Happy full moon in Aries today on October 20th, 2021. So I thought I would do a little live and just bring everybody the information that, because you know me, you know your girl, I'm always on the hunt every moon, every new moon, and every full moon. I'm always researching all of the energy and the astrology, and so thought I would just share everything that I've picked up for this moon, because it's kind of interesting, and it's actually a really cool full moon. I felt like the energy itself is really good, and it's really powerful, so I wanted to share all that with you guys. So the first thing that they were talking about this Hunter's moon is that it's bringing a lot of passion to fix old things. And I think that it's the reason why it feels so big is because I feel like our lives have been in this vicious circle in different places, different aspects of our lives, right? And for everybody that's different, but for a majority of people and for a lot of people, it's in things like their careers or their relationships. And I feel like this old cycle and this old circle, we've been within the last, I'd say the last 6 months or 8 months, we've been trying to get out of that. We've been trying to get out of, we've been trying to heal all that stuff within ourselves, right? Heal our subconscious, heal, I know for me, I've been doing a lot of self-love work, and everybody that I talk to, whether they're sitting down and being a super student like me, but they're finding different ways to better their lives, right? And just feel like better people and bring in the things that they really want in their lives. So I feel like that's what this, all the astrology was talking about, this kind of this shift and this change of what is what we've been trying to get to is actually kind of gonna come in and it's gonna be brought in with, and they keep talking about this passion energy, right? And I think that's because a lot of the stuff that's been happening on the subconscious level is really important to us, right? Deep, connections and love and relationships, and our careers, those are things that are really personable to us, and most of us have a lot of passion towards. So they also said that the passion will just be that will come up during this moon will be kind of a hint of what is to come over the next couple months. So there'll be a lot more of whatever you're receiving for that passion for, it'll come in a lot more and a lot stronger within the next couple months. So that's kind of cool too. They talked about it kickstarting, so Aries in general, the energy of Aries will help kickstart and get things going, because it feels and I don't know if anybody else feels like this, but for me personally, I feel this year, I mean, a lot has happened, but I kind of just feel everything's in slow motion, and I haven't been mad at it, but it really I just feel it's kind of just okay, we're gonna jog through this, right? We're not gonna sprint and get everything done and heal ourselves in a second. But I really feel things have just been really slow, and they keep talking about how Aries, the energy of Aries, is gonna kind of get everything moving quicker, because it has been so slow, purposefully, but it's gonna kind of push things into high gear, almost, is what they were talking about. And then what else? So another thing that was really important for this moon is it bringing a lot of mental clarity. So so just we were talking about for the people that have been doing the work, the healing work and the trying to better themselves in the last 6 months, everybody that's been working on that kind of stuff, I think that this full moon's energy will bring a lot of positive clarity for you, because it will help, you've been doing all the work, so now you'll be able to see things with a better view. You won't be if something arises, let's say a negative situation, or something tests you in your life, you're not going to be caught off guard. You're actually going to be well prepared, because you've been clearing yourself, you've been healing yourself, you've been taking the time to understand how you work on a deeper level than just your conscious, right? And I think that it'll be a positive like thing that comes. But I feel like the people maybe that didn't do the work, right? And because there's all sorts, everybody's on like a different plan and nobody's better than anybody else. But for the people that didn't do that work, right? And that haven't started that, this moon might bring a little bit of jarring circumstances for you. So just be prepared if that's you. If you're like, oh wait, I was like, like not doing any of that, then don't be scared, of course, but just know that it might be a little tougher than if you were to have been working on this stuff for a while. If something comes up, because they said that you might get clarity and things might come up. You might have tough conversations, or not even tough conversations. That's kind of like, I feel like the wrong statement, but maybe like conversations that have been needing to happen in relationships will arise. Or things within your career, right? Like clarity will come in that regard of like what you really want to be doing or what you don't want to be doing. They talked about, so we obviously just ended the Mercury Retrograde. A lot of people are happy about that. I felt like this year's Mercury Retrograde, because I think I was so focused on healing and stuff, it wasn't that jarring for me, right? But everybody's super happy to be out of Mercury Retrograde, but Pluto will be squaring the moon. And they talk about that being related to things that are like your subconscious, like below the surface, right? So things that you're not normally thinking about throughout the day, but your behavior is being affected by subconscious stuff going on deep inside you. So just be aware that stuff is going to come up. All your subconscious stuff will kind of rise to the surface, and that's why they talk heavily about what you've been doing for the last 6 months will really make a difference for you personally on this moon's energy, because if you have all the awareness and you've been loving yourself and you've been educating yourself, hi Savannah, and if you've been doing all those things to prepare yourself just to be the best you, I really think that when anything comes up during this energy of this Aries moon, I really think that you're going to have your head situated on your shoulders, right? And you're gonna know deep within you your truth and your purpose and who you are in relationships. You're gonna be able to stand tall. And same with your careers, right? I feel like we're really gonna get that clarity of what am I doing in this job? Or, is this job is the stuff that I'm doing in the job, the way I want to do it, how I want to be living my life. Or, or if you're super happy with your job and it's towards your purpose, then that's great. And you've already figured that part out. But I think this will just give clarity to really where people are at, where that is for you personally. So let's see, the next thing they were talking about, which I really, really love. So I follow Melanie Beckler, if anybody knows her. She's one of the angel girls. She said it beautifully. She talked about the balance between giving yourself, giving your love, giving yourself, doing for others, and then the other side of the coin of, fulfilling yourself and feeling really good about yourself and doing all the things that make up a healthy, happy you, right? And really the stuff that I preach every day about taking care of yourself and, self-care and, the positive mind chatter, being confident in who you are, not really allowing other people's negative opinions or negative energy to weigh on who you are and what you know of yourself. And so that balance will be really there'll be a spotlight on it, is what they were talking about during this time of it's going to shine a light and say okay, kind of grading season, right? Oh, it's so funny because we're doing parent teacher conferences right now at schools for parents, right? I just went through mine with my son's teacher today. And so it's kind of going to be that energy from the universe. It's going to be sitting down with you and just being hey, this is where you're at, right? This is the sweet spot of where we want you to be, because you're the most amazing, magnificent, beautiful energy that's come to this earth, right? And this is where you're at. And it just depends for you where that is. And it's really going to shine a light on that for you. And it will shine the light through circumstances. So how that's going to reveal itself is going to be like, maybe you'll have a conversation with someone and it will trigger you, trigger like an old wound, something that subconsciously you have, right? That not on a daily basis are you thinking about maybe, but it's like something deep seated, maybe something from your like childhood, definitely from your past, but it's going to come up and it's going to be, how do you deal with that now as you, where you are in this moment in time? And that's where like the love yourself and the taking care of yourself is like super duper important, right? Is during this time, this whole autumn season, I really feel like, and it like leads us into the winter, right? The winter where we have not only like not a lot of sun, right? So that's like something for people that's like kind of scary. Like I'm going into this dark, cold time, right? But that's just kind of almost like a metaphor for really for our emotions of like, okay, so where am I at? And I'm going to go into this like colder time, right? Where I have to like maybe be at family functions with people that aren't so healthy for me, that trigger me, or that, you know, or maybe are toxic people. Who knows? I'm not sure what's up with you guys, but I know for me, you know, the holidays are kind of hard because it's not like a family thing for me anymore. And so like, where do I sit with that energy? You know, like going forward, how am I going to be with my own energy on that? And I think she said that so well of like really having like the understanding of where you're at so that you can like proceed into these, you know, different times throughout the end of the year. And then another thing she talked about, Melanie Beckler specifically, was she talked about like deep healing and clearing out like toxic emotional patterns. And I don't know for anybody else, but that has been like my major theme through the last, I'd say like 8 or 9 months. I feel like the universe just kept giving me, it was like almost like I feel like I'm in school, like I'm in college again. It's like learn how to deal with toxic people and keep them at bay in your life, right? Learn how to love yourself when you come across someone that's not healthy, when someone that isn't loving themselves, obviously, and wants to tear you down, right? So doing all those things and all that stuff that like we've been practicing, like anybody that's watching this is probably has a lot of similar energy as me and has been practicing for themselves. Like, how do I better, like, you know, being good to myself so that I can be better to others around me, right? So it's going to be a lot of that healing energy, you know, like things are rising to the surface, those emotional patterns, and it's nothing to be scared about, and it's nothing to be worried or like judge yourself if something does happen and you rage, right? Because maybe let's look at that situation, like let's say that did happen to you. I honestly am starting to learn about how raging is like, it's a form of release. Not that it's always the healthiest, right? Like there's different ways to handle things at different times, but we also shouldn't run away from, like, if we feel rage inside, find a healthy way to rage that out, right? And obviously raging to your children or something is not healthy, right? But we can always find ways to rage healthy. Like I remember when my kids were really, really little, and it was really a struggle. I was going through some really hard times when my second son came into the world, and I remember my kids, it was like hard to juggle two. It was like being a mom of two, and I would run out, put the kids in the car because we were getting ready to go somewhere, and then I would be like, okay, and I would take 1 minute and I'd run back in the house and I would just scream because I was so stressed and I was so frustrated with, like, you know, like crying baby, you know, a toddler that was, you know, like just needing all these things, and I wasn't getting what I needed. And so I just ran in the house and I would just scream so loud because I needed to get that rage out. I needed to like soothe myself some way. And like, so allowing that rage, like loving yourself through that rage, not being judgeful, not being judgmental, not like being like, oh, this isn't how we do it. And that's the thing to remember, is that we, like most of us, our parents were so wounded that as children, they didn't even show us and weren't even good examples of how to, you know, how to express rage, how to deal with those negative emotions, those lower end emotions. Like we didn't have good examples for that. So like nobody is judging that you don't know, because how would you know if nobody taught you, right? And that's where I feel like really super fortunate for this last 6 months, because that's what I've been doing my research on, is like, how do I become like the best version of like me in those moments that are really, really hard and really, really difficult, when someone's being really, really toxic and or showing me that they don't love me. Like, how do I support myself but also like remain healthy, right, for both parties, you know, not just myself but for the other party too. And I have to say, it's been like really, really awesome. It's been an amazing journey, a beautiful journey. I feel like I've transitioned and like just become like a whole new person almost, it feels like, within the last 6 months. And it's really cool. So, and if you guys haven't like checked out my podcast, check it out. So much good information, because like I said, I'm just like researching stuff on the daily about how to just love myself and be better. So I'm sharing that through my podcast. It's on Apple Podcast, it's on Google Podcast, and I'm on Spotify now too. So it's called hashtag Love Yourself, and you can look it up. My name, Jessie Jobson too. That's another way to search me. But yeah, and then the last and final thing, they talked a lot about, like what you want to do and what your purpose is, versus like where are you living for someone else? Like, so maybe, I don't know, this is a complete example that has nothing related to me, but like maybe someone ends up, they're like, okay, I have to get married, I have to have kids, I have to buy a house, because my mom and my dad always told me my whole life, like, that's how you become successful, right? Is you have like this American dream family. And then, but deep inside, you want to go travel the world by yourself. Like, you don't want to go get married. Like, you don't want all those things. Like, this is the time during this Aries energy is to really check in with you. Like, where are you? Like, are you living like parts of your life or different aspects of your life for yourself, for your, like what you want to do for your purpose, or is it for someone else? And so like, receive that energy from Aries to receive the clarity on that. Because I think that, I know for me personally, it's like, you know, there is things that I do it to make sure that I provide good for my family, you know, all these things, but what really is at my heart, like center, right? Am I striving to that daily? Am I like trying to live out my purpose and, you know, focus on those things, or am I focusing for someone else? Like, which one is it, right? So take a balance check on that too, because I think that'll be really important, and it will point you in the right direction going into these winter months. And like they were talking about in astrology, I think there's a lot of really good stuff coming in the next couple months. So point yourself in the right direction so that you can absorb it. So yeah, so that's all the research that I had for the astrology stuff. But then I thought I would do a card pull for all of us, because I just love it when the people that I follow, when they pull cards. I don't know why I get so excited about that, but I was like, you know what? I want to give that gift to other people. So I'm going to pull, how about I'm just having like this feeling to pull 3 cards, okay, for us. So we'll see. I'll make sure that everybody who's listening in the future or now can receive like a message from what they need to hear. All right, so first one. Oh, this is a good one. This makes so much sense with the energy that's going on. Okay, it's Archangel Raphael, and I'm like an angel freak, so like to me, like I immediately know what his power is, but you might not know, so I'll share it with you. So Archangel Raphael is the healer angel, and a lot of people that like work with angel energy and stuff like that, they'll call like Reiki, people will call in Archangel Raphael sometimes, like if they really need some healing. Or like when my son gets hurt, I always like imagine Archangel Raphael like being by our sides to make sure that his body will be safe, and he'll be safe, and we'll all be safe. And so it says that the healing angel is with you and supporting your healing work. And I think that that's really important during this time, because we are doing a lot of healing work. I know for me, I'm doing tons of healing work, and And I feel like this is like them cheering us on, like, yes, keep healing, keep loving yourself, keep doing what you're doing, right? So that's so super perfect. Okay, here's number 2. Let's see what they give us. Ooh, okay, so this one is the Goddess, right? Ooh, girls, it's so true. Express your divine feminine energy, embracing its magical intuition and nurturing qualities. So this is cool on a lot of levels for me personally, because I've actually been tapping into my divine feminine energy. I didn't know until recently about like the divine feminine and the divine masculine, and how we both have to kind of balance both within ourselves, within everyone, right? But that also you come as like a strong feminine or a strong masculine, or like all these, and it doesn't matter in your gender, right? But this one girl, this astrology girl, last moon, she kind of described them in a way that was really, really powerful for me anyway. So I'll kind of like try to recreate that for you guys. She talked about how, so masculine energy, which obviously our world and our societies predominantly have lived for generations, right, in the masculine energy. Okay, they've ruled, it's been that way, but there's a shift coming, right? And so to understand the masculine energy, it's the 9 to 5, the same output every day. We want the same type of work habits and study habits, and like meeting the status quo output every single day. And you're consistent, you're the same, you're like, their emotions even are like pretty even kill. I mean, like that's not to say like, you know, like all those sexist things, but like masculine energy is pretty streamlined, okay? And then the feminine energy is different, and it's in like, one's not better than the other. We need both of them, right? But the feminine energy is more like this, right? And it peaks at the top and it goes down, but it's like really wavy. So like they talk about like a woman's period, right? Being like her hormones going up and down and peaking when she's having her period, right? And then coming back down, and talking about how for women, it's like actually our natural energy to live out our lives of like those peak moments where you have tons of energy, doing tons of stuff, getting tons done, but then having other moments where you have low energy and you're just going to rust that day. You're not this like machine, like a man, right? Like, or masculine, I shouldn't say a man, but I gotta stop that. But the masculine, where you're not a machine, you're not outputting the same amount every day. Some days you're needing to like cozy in and relax and self-care and like do those things, right? And so like, it's a lot of nurturing. There's like so much that's different than the masculine, right? And that's why the feminine that's why babies come through us, is because they need that sometimes, you know, push to get stuff done for the babies, right? But then they need that, oh, right now I'm not going to do anything. I'm just going to relax and sit here and hug and snuggle that baby and like love on that baby. Like that's what's important, right? And the nurturing aspect and all that good stuff. So this is really cool, this card. So embrace that part of yourself, whatever gender you are, because I think our transition in this world right now, we're transitioning. Oh, this is another really cool thing. It's not my, like, I didn't like receive the message, but this astrology girl that I follow, her name is, so she's the Wonder Girl Astrology on YouTube, if you ever want to follow her. Anyway, so she's really cool, and what she said is that the new energy that's coming in, so supposedly there's supposed to be this switch from masculine that we've been so long, right, to the feminine energy, but then the feminine energy is like, instead of being like how the masculine was like to the feminine, you sit in the back seat and I dominate. The men make more money, you know, like the men run the show, right? Now the feminine takes over, and the feminine says like, I want to share the table. Like, I don't want to just put you in the back seat and tell you to be quiet. Like, I want us to do this together, which I thought that was so cool. That's so like a feminine energy, right? So I thought that was really pretty. Okay. So next is the last card. I feel like this is going to be kind of like a futuristic card. Like I don't know why I feel that way, but okay. Okay. Here it is. Oh, okay. And it's so funny. This whole reading has been exactly the Aries, like, astrology stuff that I was going over. So it's so funny. But past life issues. And so it says the situation has a basis in one of your previous lifetimes. Ask your angels to help you remember, release, learn, and heal from your past experiences. And that's kind of what I feel like they were talking about in astrology when they were talking about like, have you been doing the work about that subconscious stuff that you like don't even realize like you do, like those deep-seated wounds, but I think that those wounds like carry with us through lifetime, from lifetime to lifetime. And I feel, for me personally, like I'm here to like help clear and cleanse like family lineage, like the wounds of my family lineage. So like my soul family, right, that I came into this life with. I'm supposed to like heal myself, because it doesn't just heal me, it heals me, my mom, my sisters, my dad, like everybody, you know, like it doesn't just heal you when you heal yourself. It heals your children, it heals everybody that touches you, everyone that knows you. So just remember that. So that's what I feel like I'm part of my purpose. That's what I'm here to do. And I feel like that's kind of like the spotlight for this energy, is like, this is the time to like recognize, you know, have you done the work? Like, let's heal this. This is like, we're not getting any younger. Let's heal it. Let's get it done. And let's enjoy our lives, right? Like this next phase that we're on right now, that we've just opened the door to, like it already feels like the best phase ever, but let's make it even better. Like, I don't want to stop. I want to just keep going. And I want to like surpass the ceiling is what I want to do. So, all right. Well, that's all I had. And I hope you guys, thank you guys for everybody that joined me and everybody that will join this in the future. Cause I'll put it on my Instagram TV, but I just wish you guys all the best on this full moon. And like I said, check out my podcast if you're interested in the self-love stuff, because it's super beautiful and super, like, it's amazing information that I'm finding, and I'm glad that I can share it with everybody. So, all right. Have a good rest of your night. Take care. Bye.